Good morning, folks. Let me do the typical check to make sure we're live and all that stuff. What's up, Camel? That was quick, dude. That was pretty quick. Good morning, Pac-Man. Good morning. Sup, Quad? Good morning. Howdy ho. Come on, YouTube. Morning, Alex. Hey, Neil. Looks like we're live on YouTube now, too. Good. Awesome. Hey, Retro. NEM Martin, good morning. I'm not sure if I've seen you before, but welcome. Hey, Phil. Pre-show entertainment. Do I dare click the link? Yeah, I think Twitch does always kick in sooner, actually, Camel. If for some reason it takes longer for YouTube to realize that we're going. I don't know why. Hey, Deli. Sorry I haven't put that beta out, Deli. I ran into some frustrating stuff yesterday. Although that issue that you're running into is fixed. So I just got to get it out. But as you guys know, this morning I'm actually already mid-development. I, for some reason, woke up early this morning and was working on plugin support. So we're going to be working on plugin support today. Honestly, yesterday was a pretty frustrating day for me. I was working on trying to fix all the video placement issues and the weird video issues with themes, and was about ready to take a gun to my head. To be honest, it was just driving me freaking mad. And Sid got a taste of that. Critical Sid. He's probably not here, but I was talking to him and just had to take a break because it was driving me friggin' mad. So I'm moving on from that, although I need to come back to it. Basically, the themes, you guys all know the videos. Not everybody knows, but some of there are some video-specific theme issues that I've been trying to resolve for ages, and I can't seem to get them resolved. And whatever, same stuff I ran into. So I skipped over that for now, just to give me a break from it. I'll come back to it before the end of the week, but rather than go and risk hanging myself, I moved on to plugin support. Cool, Neil. Who's that? Neil, the old school Hyperspin theme creator. Hey, Brad, welcome. Thank you. Hey, Sid, I was just talking about you. I don't know if you heard. Does it do what I want? SubZero. Okay, very cool. Sweet. Yeah, we'll see if I have a sneaky suspicion that SubZero honestly is going to be disappointed. Is if he's looking for, the typical hyperspin old school approach where, you give it an image and you give it the where to put it and all that stuff via XML, and he's not gonna be happy with our approach because we favored videos over all that manual weird stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what he says. But I don't. Yes, it's all possible doing what he's doing, but it's certainly not, or doing the same stuff he used to do with hyperspin. It's possible to do that, but it's not the same, I guess. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what he says, and I can work with him to see if he'd be willing to um, help us improve that stuff for that style, for that approach. But cool. Yeah, I was not having a good day, Sid. I just was hitting my head against the wall constantly. Plug-in hype. Yeah, Neil K will be able to put plugins to use. Absolutely. And Neil K is not the only one. I know Grilla is already working on plugins without this, so he'll be pleased. And there are countless people. I mean, there's been a lot of people asking for plugin support, so I'm hoping a lot of people will step up and get us some pretty cool stuff. What will plugins be able to do in LaunchBox? Well, first off, plugins, Big Box will be the first support for, will be the first focus. But once we add proper plugin support, you'll literally be able to do anything. That's the hope in Big Box, especially because Big Box with custom themes allows you to put anything anywhere already. So once we provide data access, then you can literally do pretty much anything you want in Big Box, and it won't be that difficult. As far as LaunchBox, you'll be able to put stuff into the menus, your own custom processes and that stuff. But there won't be a way to directly tweak the LaunchBox interface, just because, it's not going to be that. It's a lot more difficult to do in that type of environment. But we're actually going to support plugins in LaunchBox as well via menu items and stuff like that. I was wondering if plugin support will let developers tie into when a game is launched and when they return to Big Box. In theory, eventually, yes, we can add that particular logic. So we'll see. Thank you, Sid. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Hey, Grilla. Welcome. So, I just dropped your name too, Grilla. That's funny. We're working. I'm starting on plugin support. So, anyways, where we're at, guys. I do need to pray yet, but where we're at. Let me give you a quick introduction. I've created a new project. We have all these projects right now in LaunchBox, and these are all. I mean, all this stuff is accessible, but one issue that you're going to have if you try to interface with these directly is, one, you don't have any documentation, so you don't know what you're doing, and two, when the version numbers change, it's going to break all the references every time and all that stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a new project called unbroken.launchbox.plugins. Okay, in this project you will reference, for Grilla and Neil K and whoever else knows what I'm talking about here. You'll be able to reference this project, and the version number won't change on this, so it's not going to break as we put out new versions and stuff like that. And this project is going to let you directly get at the data and everything else that you need to tie into various things in LaunchBox and Big Box. So that's the plan. So right now what I'm working on is separating out things that will be exposed to plugins, to various interfaces that you'll be able to use. So for starters, I'm working on this iGame interface. And this interface will be accessible. So every game in your collection will be accessible as an iGame that you'll be able to use in plugins, right? And the same thing goes for iData Manager. And I'm currently, working on this stuff yet. We don't even build right now. But ultimately, what you'll be able to do to get at the data eventually is you'll be able to type in plugin helper .datamanager.games .whatever .front image path cart 3D image path. You'll be able to assign a command line. You'll be able to do whatever you need to tweak or modify the data or get the data or all that stuff. That'll be directly accessible in plugins. So that's the goal. Pretty much, I want to start by getting all the data accessible to all plugins. I need to add a mechanism to dynamically load plugins. My plan for that is going to be in your LaunchBox folder. There's going to be a new plugins folder, and any DLL file that you drop in here will be automatically picked up as a plugin, or in each theme there will be a plugins folder in here as well that you can distribute plugins with a theme. So that's kind of where I'm coming from as far as general structure. And we'll go from there. It's gonna be pretty smooth. I think it'll be fun. Deli, have realized that in Big Box the counter which shows how many games on a playlist is counting hidden games too if hidden games are deactivated. Ah, okay. That's good to know. Thank you, Deli. I'll take a look at that. Jason summons all the themers with a word. That's hilarious. Will you be actually releasing a plugin as a working example? Yes. I think that's absolutely 100% necessary. The other thing we will be doing is documenting everything in this plugins project. So you won't be going blind, and if you want to be able to get at something, you'll have documentation that specifies exactly how. That's also very, very important. My initial plan is to release MSDN style documentation for all this stuff, so that you'll know how to get at all this stuff. It'll be a proper API documentation setup. It's going to take some time for me to get all this done, but I do plan to get all of this here before the next official version. So, but yeah, I will have a working plugin going in as an example, and it'll be simple. It won't be anything all that special, but you got to release an example. Hey, Pure Luck. Hey, Double O. All right, well, let's pray, and then we'll get back. I'll get back into the code and keep running with it. Lord, thank you once again for keeping me on track and keeping me going. Help me recover from yesterday's disaster without being too discouraged and frustrated, and without and then help me come back to it and get it resolved in the future. I pray that you would bless our conversations today, bless everybody here, help us all to enjoy each other's company, enjoy each other's presence, and just have great conversations and have a great stream. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Hey, Charco. All right, so what I'm mostly kidding saying disaster, guys. It wasn't a disaster. It was just me struggling to fix what I was trying to fix, which is the theme video placement stuff. So just, yeah, no big deal. Jade, I have a feature request that would be helpful to me. For some reason, some of my PS2 games are corrupted. I have so many, so it would be help if LaunchBox marked them so I knew what needed replaced. Oh, sure. I get it. So the 7-zip files are corrupted. Sure, that makes sense, Jade. Hey, hey, Harvey. Hilarious Harvey. I like your name. That's awesome. It's not a threading issue, no, Peerluck. It's something different. But anyways, so moving on to the plugin support. Yeah, unfortunately, Jade, I can't jump on that right now because I'm in the middle of the plugin support stuff. But no, Neil, come on, man. That's hilarious. Good point, Camel. That can be done with the command line. Hey, Pab. Thank you. All right. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm working on the iGame interface, and this is what is going to provide access to everything game data, basically, is going to be accessible to the plugins. And so I got to keep just basically adding these properties, which is boring, but it's important. So let me keep working on this for a while. Somebody's calling me that I don't recognize. Emulator ID. Favorite ID, last play date. Although I'm not sure we want the setter on ID. I'm going to take that off. Question is, do we want a plugin to be able to set, what do we want a plugin to be able to set? And it makes sense that they would want to be able to change any piece of data. But ID is not something that should be able to be set. There's no reason to change a game's ID. Last play date. Manual path. Music path. Notes. Oops. That's awesome, Gorilla. I'm excited to see those. David, welcome. Are you a developer, David? Hey, Steven. Yeah, there's already a way to do that, Pab. You can enable the second screen, the marquee screen, in the options. Hey, Neo. String notes. We've got platform. We've got publisher. We've got rating. Release date. release year, root folder, ScumVM aspect correction, ScumVM full screen. Come on, I need to think about what I'm doing here. This is a bool. ScumVM game data folder path string. ScumVM game type, which is a string. Show back. Sort title. Source. Star rating. Status. LaunchBox database ID. Wikipedia ID. Wikipedia URL. All right, let's catch up on some comments here. Is this session about the Switch? Hey Terry, not really. I'm not quite sure where that's coming from. So these settings here match the ones in the XMLs for the platforms, right? And those are what the plugins will be able to read or manipulate. Exactly, Wade, yes. Except it'll be much more powerful because you'll have access to a lot of the same functionality that we do when we read the data. So basically, you're going to be able to read that data a lot easier than directly referring to the XMLs. It will be automatic for you. So you'll be able to, for example, let's create a sample here. I'm going to create a class. What you'll be able to do is create a simple method. You'll be able to do this. You'll be able to do for each var game in we got a plugin helper class, so it's going to be plugin helper .datamanager.games, right? But actually games is a dictionary, so if we do .values, that'll get you the actual game values, and then we can say game.application.path, and that will get you your application path, or game.clearLogoImagePath will get you your clear logo image path, or you can set values and stuff like that. So yes, all that stuff will be automatically accessible to you, and you'll be able to do things like save data, change things, save things. All that stuff will be accessible to the plugins. So it's actually, you know, you're gonna have to trust the plugins that you use, because they could, we are providing enough functionality that they could do some damage. So it's something to think about. But you know, that's how it works. Pab, you mean to make it work with another app? I don't quite follow. I don't get it, Pab. Cool, David. Games for the website automatically sync to the software. Yes, I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so when you import games, it downloads all the data from the website. SNES games don't launch through LaunchBox for me. It just goes to black screen. Could be a million different things, but it's definitely emulator related, Caleb. So that's a forums question. Yeah, well, I hope so, Camel. I hope we can work with them directly to make things work well. If it works outside of LaunchBox, then your emulator configuration in LaunchBox is wrong. Ultimately, most likely. Yeah, you're just gonna, yeah, exactly. We gotta make sure that we can trust the plugins, and as the plugins go up, we'll do our best to make sure they're not sketchy. The ones that are posted on the forums, but that's the thing. We will have to be careful. All right. So we got Wikipedia URL title. The game title. It's pretty important. Use DOSBox. Use ScumVM. What happened there? Version, series, play mode, region, play count. There are a lot of freaking properties on games, aren't there? Series, play mode. Region. Play count. One thing that we get asked a lot, or not a lot, but it comes up every once in a while is, any way to reset the play count? Well, now somebody could build a plugin to do it. That's kind of this kind of stuff we're getting at. Because that's one of the things that we just haven't added yet. Bool Portable. Video path. Theme video path. Hide. Broken. Clone of. Now this one's tricky. Genres string. Because genres are, I guess we should, yeah, that's fine. Then we have this duplicate platform title. That should only be a getter, I think. Now we have all the child lists that are all blocking collections. I think, so we want blocking collection of additional application, and those, so basically we need to add the data items for those before I can add those lists. So we certainly have a lot of work to do here yet. But I'm going to see where we're at. I know we're not going to build at this point, but I want to see how many thousands of errors we get. 119, that's not too bad. Well, obviously that's a, oh, because sure. So we need to delete our class 1. Okay, 66 errors. Sure, yeah. Game does not implement interface member. Oh, that was a misspelling. Configuration path. Wow, I don't misspell things very often. Fail. Where are we at? With comments. Plug in to add movies that play through VLC player. So you can already do that with the custom themes. Are you saying like add a full screen video player? You mean for playing movies? That's feasible, although it would be quite a development to do. We already have a full screen video player, although yeah, I see if I sort of get what you're getting at. 100 plus lines of getters, yeah. Thank you, Caleb. Type racer, yeah, I'm about 90 words per minute. I did a test not too long ago. I do actually. It's funny. I set out like 6 months ago. I set out to try and teach myself to type correctly, because the funny thing is I don't type correctly. But what I learned was I've done it wrong for so many years. It's funny, I do the touch typing with one hand. In the other hand, I don't at all, and I cross over wrong with my fingers. But I've learned that I'm just so quick with my bad methods that it just would be stupid to try and reteach myself the proper way. So I'm stuck with my bad habits now. But the funny thing is, I can type at 90 words per minute with my bad habits. So, I guess I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. My issue is I don't. It's funny. I only use two fingers, and I can't even tell you what I do. But so I cross over weird, and I only use two fingers on one hand instead of all four, and the other hand I do use all four fingers. It's just weird. Hey, Omen. Magic Flight LaunchBox. Yeah. Yep. That is that's the other big company that uses the LaunchBox term. It's just weird. It's weird that they would use LaunchBox for their product too. It's some kind of vape product. 57 words per minute ain't bad. Wow, that's amazing. 160 is just like that's like unbelievably stellar. And I could get there if I was typing like correctly, but since I don't type correctly, there's no way I could get that fast. So I'm just gonna have to be, happy with my 90. I have Kodi and add-ons run Big Box and Steam Big Picture on my HTPC. Pretty much fully HTPC'd up with very few exceptions. I think Big Box is a big piece of that puzzle. Thank you profusely. Absolutely, Wade. Thank you. 30-ish words per minute. All right. You got it. Yeah, you got to work on that one, Camel. Ryan Adams. SNES 9X thing is switching to ZSNES. Sure. 70 is respectable. Nah, it's not a better way of typing, because you can just tell that it's like not as efficient. It's just how I learned it. It's funny. I learned to type at school. In the computer lab, Mavis Beacon teaches typing or whatever. But I didn't trust Mavis Beacon, and I said, "Shut up, woman!" And I taught myself my own way, which is funny. I guess I learned too young. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But I didn't listen to her like I should have. Hunt and peck, sure. I am grateful though. I am very grateful that my school taught me not to hunt and peck at least. Mavis Bacon. Is it really? No way. No, it can't be. Wow, that's weird, Camel. Anyways, back to work. We got 91 errors here. There's going to be... Yeah, one of the things that's going to be annoying is that everywhere... Since we're using this interface, everywhere we refer to the actual game class, it's now going to be an iGame, which is going to be really tricky to solve without touching a bunch of code. So that's going to be like the biggest thing, is conversions between the actual game class and the iGame. There's no way around that though that I can think of. I don't know, Neil, if you're on, maybe you can help. You can think about an easier solution to that. But anyways, int. Why int? Oh, I know why. It's okay. So this is going to have to be a list of iGame. But then see, this is the kind of thing we're going to have to like screw with constantly. All over the place. It's going to be a major undertaking. A lot of like crap code work is what we're going to have to be messing with here. Oops. Let's get rid of the warnings for now. Custom fields. So before I'm able to fix all these errors, we gotta keep adding these data classes. The next thing in the after duplicate platform title, additional application. So I need an additional application class or interface. It's going to be a public interface additional application. And we're going to model it after additional application, the actual class here. I'm going to move that over to my other monitor so I can watch that as I'm building out this interface. We're going to need, we got a public string ID. Oops, forget there's no public in this, which is only a getter. We're going to need int play count, which is a getter and setter. Game ID, which is only going to be a getter. Application path, getter and a setter. Auto run after, auto run before, bool. Command line. Name. Use DOSBox. Use emulator. Wait for exit. Release date. We need date, time, release date. Developer. Publisher. Region, version, status, last played. Okay. Disk. Whoops. Emulator ID. Side A. Side B. Priority. Okay, those are all the properties. Now, we're going to provide, I'm going to go ahead and go through the methods here, which are interesting as well. But let's catch up on comments here first. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty, I mean, I would have learned to type eventually, I think, because I kind of would have had to, you would think. Although, I don't know. When you do it all day long, every single day, you would think you would learn to do it. But, and I did. I mean, I learned over time, but next poll, I'm voting for you. Wait 35 minutes longer till you stream so I don't miss anything dropping my kid off at school. That's funny. Sorry, Retro. I know it's not a good time for everybody, that's for sure. Yeah. Hi, James. Hatch. Slipstream, have I fixed startup videos this week? They're not broken, Slipstream. But no, I haven't done anything with the startup videos. Remember, uh, they were on the poll, and they weren't highly voted on the poll. Although we got enough stuff on them to. We'll definitely do the startup videos, but it's not top notch priority. Hey, Bissy. Thank you, Slipstream. Chris Castaldi. Anyone have any ideas what plugins they are going to create? Good question. Hey, Stifilus. Gamer baby. Hey, Russ. Cool. All right, so moving on, we're going to add some methods here that will be accessible to this is additional application object, and that will be accessible to the plugin. So first one is an icon image. Although I'm not sure. That's fine. We're going to say image. No. This is system.drawing.image, which we can import. Yep. Get icon image game iGame game. That's fine. But that's going to have to change. We have to change the definition of that method. Okay. And then launch. This is an important one. So string launch, bool show commands, bool exit, bool pause before commands. This is all DOSBox stuff. Bool pause before exit, game. I don't know why I'm feeding the game in there. Oh, of course I know why I'm feeding the game in there, because it's into the additional application. This is not the game, it's the additional application. Okay. So you'll be able to, for example, this stuff will be available to plugins. You'll be able to launch games. That's what this is providing right here. Moving on, what else we got in here? That might be it, actually. Get from game. What is that? Additional application, get from game. Oh, that's converting it's a static method. We don't need that. Basically converts a game into an additional application. All right. So this is basically our completed additional application object. Now in games, we can now add, let's close out of this and go back to our game. We can add the collection of additional applications to games. So basically we're going to have a public blocking collection of additional application, additional applications. Get. All right. So now your additional applications will be accessible on games. More errors than ever, but we're just gonna have to keep going because the more, it's funny. There's just so much to do. The more we add, the more errors we're gonna get, but we can't get past it all until we just keep adding everything we need. And there is a lot to add, so it's gonna be quite an involved process, but it'll be powerful once it's done. So pretty important. I'll probably be working all day on just getting these interfaces going, to be honest, which is not the most fun to watch, but it needs done, and so we're just going to keep doing it. Camel, EXO has already been appeased. So basically EXO's happy and he's working on the release. So I worked on that. I helped him with everything he needed help with last week. So we're good to go there. So that's good news. Yes. No problem, Camel. All right. Custom fields are next. So we need to create an iCustom field interface the same way. I'm going to load up custom field and move that over here. And we're going to add iCustom field. Public interface iCustom field. And in this, we need the game ID. There's not a whole lot we need here. We just simply need string game ID, string name, and string value. So that one's pretty simple. Nothing to it. And then we can go in here and we can say blocking collection of iCustom field, custom fields. Thank you, Wade. Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. And I don't think the first version of the Exodus collection, I have seen it. I played with it. The first version of it is going to still use Exo's batch files. So it's not going to be 100% full integration, but you'll have all the media in there, and you'll be able to obviously just play the games directly from within LaunchBox, and it works really well. So it'll be good. There's so much complicated logic in Exo's batch files that I don't think he's gonna try and get them integrated directly. But you know, it'll work just fine. It'll work well. Jason, have you played the new Quake Champions? No, I didn't even know that was out. Sounds like something to be right up my alley, though. Is it made by id? Hey, JMR. Awesome, great to hear. I'm glad it's working well for you, GMR. You would rather the batch files, sure. Yeah. Yep. Well, it won't be broken for you then. All right. So we've added custom fields. The next thing we need to add is mounts. Those are DOSBox mounts. So we need to add another one called iMount. Yeah, that's right. Public interface iMount. And in here, this should be fairly simple, I think. Let me pull up my mount class. I haven't touched this class in ages. I'm using a bunch of old format stuff, which is funny. All right. So this isn't too involved here. We have string game ID, character drive letter, string file system, string mount type, string path, and string type. Thank you, Godsend. On some platforms, can the auto hotkey scripts be stolen from Hyperlaunch and used in LaunchBox? If you're gonna do that, you might as well just use Rocket Launcher, Jimmy. Um, that's what Rocket Launcher is. That's what it's for. So you might as well use Rocket Launcher for that type of approach. All right, so we have our eye mount. I think that's all we need there. Now we can add our collection of mounts. We have a blocking collection of eye mount mounts. And this becomes eye mount as well. Now we have a blocking collection of string genres. Okay. And we can keep going here. Play modes, which is a list of string. I guess these are just, easy accessors. That's fine. We can go ahead and add those. List of string play modes. Yeah, we need that. We need list of string developers. These are basically just an easy way to get at the split developers, just split by the semicolon. Of the fields that support multiple items per field, it's an easy way to get at that stuff. So we might as well make that accessible as well. Why is it series value? Oh, well, because series is already used. I see. Sort genre. Oh, then we have all the sort stuff, which is not going... That shouldn't be needed, really. We have a property called sort title or title, which I am going to make that accessible. That basically, whenever you want to sort games, you're going to sort by sort title or title, and that will automatically handle everything for you. Get all cache file paths. Don't think we want to open that up for any reason. Open images folder, sure. There's going to be a lot in here now, method-wise. Get music folder. I don't know if... oh, I see. I get it. Sure. Manuals folder, theme videos folder. Videos folder. Image folder, string, get image folder, string image type, string region. Get default manual path. I don't know about this get default stuff. whether we need all that stuff. I'm torn on some of this stuff because we shouldn't. So if a plugin wanted to add a new manual or something, they wouldn't use these folder things. They would use something else. So I'm going to take these out for now. Get default manual path. Let me catch up on some comments here. Did you ever make any more progress on changing Daphne to Laserdisc? Not really. I don't think so, Slipstream. Ever thought of selling merchandise to Phone LaunchBox? Chains and keychains and t-shirts? Yeah, we actually tried in the past, and I need to get back to that and do that again, probably. But there wasn't a lot of interest in the past, but that was more than a year ago when things were pretty early on. So merch is something I'm not against. It's just, we need to make it happen. Cool, guys. Well, then I'll, yeah. I mean, I keep saying that we'll get back to it. What I need to do is I need to get Wood or Kirsten or Brad or somebody on setting it all up. Oh no, my wife is on. Amber Carr is my wife, guys. Well, thank you, honey. You're cute too. Aww. Why did someone decide to add hundreds of WonderSwan logos in a row? Why not? That's a good thing, Pab. Quake Champions beta keys. Well, that's cool. Thank you, David. Is Quake Champions from id? I'd look it up, but I'm not going to do that on stream here. South Africa. That's cool. Slip system. Try to use MAME mess where I can or RetroArch. Why not music from PC? I'm confused on that one. Canada. When are platform videos coming out for handhelds and computers? I need you guys to jump on James' thread on the forums and just hammer him to tackle the handhelds and computers platform category videos, because he's been working on other platforms, and if you guys want him working on the platform categories, then get on his butt on the forums. Vissy's from South Africa too. Cool. id Software isn't even from id anymore. I know. But, Bethesda is, from what we can tell so far, Bethesda has been very, very good for id Software. So, just saying. I've been pleased with their latest release. Very, very pleased with their latest release. Yeah, we're not going to be replacing rocket launcher features anytime soon. That's what we were just talking about earlier in the stream system, Slipstream. So you can check that out later. Published by Bethesda and developed by id Software and Saber Interactive. Sure. Interesting. Yeah, videos, Camel. Oh, Doom is very worth playing. Hey, refresh. No worries. Okay. Let's keep going here. Sort title. We're on iGame. I was on get default manual path. Question is, does that need to be opened up to plugins? And what is the difference between get manual path and get default manual path? I think I'm gonna add it. We might remove it later on if that's not what I want. It's not a property. It's that. Get manual path is obviously important. Although manual path, believe it or not, is already accessible. Maybe not. Right there. No, that's the property where you set it. Yeah, so this is tricky, and a lot of the stuff can be cleaned up. But it's complicated because it searches the folders automatically, and there's a bunch of ways to get at the stuff. That probably needs cleaned up a little bit. Get default music path. Get music path. I see. So get default basically just returns the default if there is no music path specified. So we don't need the get default methods. We just need the some of these you would think should be able to be private, although they're all public right now. Default theme video path, get theme video path. Get video path. Bool prioritize theme videos. I don't know if I can do that in an interface. Apparently I can. Get rating image. Get developer publisher line. Now we have all this extra stuff. Get actual random background image path. But I don't think, because that's already fed in via the property. So I don't think we need all that stuff. We have add custom field. Void add custom field, string name, string value. I have an issue here with my custom field class. Some of these aren't inheriting from the interface. go. Configure. Okay, that is basically, that launches the configuration. Show commands, bool exit, bool pause before commands, bool pause before exit. All right, let's see where we're at in comments here. Yeah, Wolfenstein was excellent. But Doom just kills it. Oh. Hey, Larry. Turbo. Retro humanoid. I type everything into my files at the same time as Jason so I can have the updates early. That's hilarious. I know that's not possible, but it's funny anyways. Yeah, it's me. I shake, guys. Wobbling, sorry. It's always my knee going up and down as I think and type and whatever. Hey, Rennie. Configure. Now we have copy, which will basically copy a game. I'm not sure that we need that. I don't think so. Get actual 3D images. We don't really need those. Image counts. Okay, now get new manual file path is going to be basically if you're adding a new manual, you'll need that. So we should be adding the new stuff. So get new manual file path. Extension. Get new theme video file path. Get new video file path. Get new music file path. And get next available image file path is important as well. Then we feed in a list of downloads, although that's not anything we want in there. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And we'll need to add a method in here to do that. Region, and then we call extension image type region null. what else we got? Cache file path. Stuff. Getting the image cache stuff. I'm not going to add that yet. Get genre string. Sure, we'll add that. And then sort value. Load genres from string. Okay. No, void. Open folder, open manual. Okay. So string, open folder. It's a command. Open manual. And there's our play method, which is important as well. Why am I feeding the data manager in there? I think maybe we should change this up a little. How are we doing on comments? Let's see. The old basic listings from the Commodore 64 magazines. I never had a Commodore 64. I wish I did, though. I can imagine, David. That's good to hear. Yeah, that's going to be a big performance improvement. Slip system. I like your name. It's a little bit close, isn't it? Hi, C-dubs. Yep, .net. Cheap condenser mic with an isolation mount. Oh, sure. Yeah. Right now, this just sits on my desk, and actually, it's covered up by Rubik's Cubes right now, so I should move those. That might get better. I grew up on DOS, so first computer I had was an 8088. 640 kilobytes of RAM, and I believe a 30 megabyte hard drive. The big old 5¼ inch floppies. That was my first machine. So I've been the PC route the entire time, which, I'm sure helped make things easier for me, but buy it for me, Camel. No, I'm kidding. So I was working on streamlining this play method. I need to add public string play, and what we want to do is just use the stuff, I think. So we're going to call this .play. Data manager settings.show commands. Okay, what's the problem here? Oh, I see. Okay. So that, and then what we can do is, this stuff is all not going to be useful ultimately. So we can just add this to make it easier for people when they develop a plugin and want to play it, just start playing the game. That makes more sense. The other thing is additional applications should be to do the same thing ultimately. So our play. Wait a minute, this is not right. Our I additional application launch shouldn't have any of this stuff in there in theory. Everything else looks fine. I think it's just this launch that I want to tweak. So we need to load up our additional application class. And my launch method. I need to add a public string launch with just game. And what I'm going to do is we're going to copy this guy. And I'm going to say return this.launch game. All right, to start, and then this can be simplified to that. All right. TI 99 and TRS 80, sure. What you don't see is what you get. With all that patron money, you can't afford it? I can afford it, Camel. I can afford a microphone. And if it makes you happy, I'll pick up a microphone. I just don't want to bother, honestly. Here's the thing. The biggest thing with the microphone is that my desk right now is not a good setup at all. And I'm kind of waiting until I move to get all that stuff like better. So yeah, I'll do it, but I kind of want to wait until after I move to get it done, if that makes sense. Because we're still planning on moving over the summer, so. Any chance for a rundown of what the code means? I know it's plugin support, but I'm lost. Yeah, well, really, if you're not a developer, you're not gonna easily understand without me going into hours of discussion. But and really, this is only stuff that developers are going to understand. But ultimately, this is providing access to all the different properties and properties of a game and things you can do to a game or with a game. For example, you can play the game, you can open the game's manual, you can open the game's folder, you can load in genres, you can get genres, etc. Yeah, we just made play simpler, exactly, which is exactly the point. We want to make sure that everything in here, and this is a work in progress, obviously, there's a lot to do yet, but we want to make sure that everything in here is easy to document and is straightforward as far as what it means. And anything that's in here that is confusing, we want to make not confusing is the objective, you know. The ins and outs made simple. Not even sure exactly yet, but we're thinking Colorado Stifilus. I'll take a look at that mic, Camel, for when I move for sure. All right. So now we've added our play method. I do have some stuff that I need to fix up. No overload method for launch takes 5 arguments. Why is that? We got an error over here. Oh, because it's an I game. Sure. That's interesting. I see. Well, that's weird, though. Oh, it's because it's an app. Duh. Okay. I see. So, var application equals app as additional application. There we go. So additional application doesn't inherit from I additional application yet, and it needs to. There we go. So there's our play method. Now, append mounts. DOSBox.append mounts, I have an error. Mounts dictionary. All right. On down. Now we're on play emulator. And play emulator is called by the play method, so we can. The only place where play emulator is called directly is from. Wow, that's only happening in game, so that can be private actually, and it should be private. Play scum VM is also only happening from within game, so that should be private as well. Sort custom fields is interesting. Oh, I see. I don't think I need to make that accessible. Get resource files from folder is just a utility method. And I don't know why it's public, because it can be made. Oh, it is private already. Duh. So anything private, obviously, we don't need accessible in here. We're reaching the end, so that's good, guys. We're almost done with this game class, which is excellent. Process exited is an event, but we have this app.launch is broken. I know why. So var application equals app as additional application, and application.launch. There we go. And then we have a bunch more private methods which we don't need. Get region from image file path is a static method which shouldn't need to be in there. We have load from data row, which is definitely not something that needs to be in the plugin system. Get from additional application, again, same thing. Get details. Get details is probably important. So let's add that. And that's it. That's our whole game class. Now we have a couple errors up here that I need to solve. Oh, that's easy. I know what the issue is here. Now I'm sure if I build now, I'm still going to have a bunch of errors. We'll see where we're at though. $70 errors. Colorado, what's out there, weed? That's exactly why we're moving to Colorado, Stiffilus. Yeah, I'm in California right now. Goodness. Sniffles. With plugin support, would it be possible to specify a different directory where images or platforms are being read from? I would like to have them on an SSD drive. That's already possible, Sniffles, just by configuring the platform folders. Yep. So tools, manage platforms in LaunchBox, and then specify all your platform folders, and you can move them wherever you want. Jason has errors. Yes, I do. Lots of them. Hey, Neil. Data.game is a concrete implementation of iGame. Honestly, I don't know what your terminology means, concrete, but yes, it implements iGame. All right, so platform category. So basically, the issue is all over the place. We're expecting game instead of iGame, and that's going to cause us a million different errors here, which is going to be frustrating. So we're going to have to switch up like all our references to iGame or to game to iGame, which is going to be crazy annoying, honestly. So this is the data manager class. I'm going to move this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing here. If I can figure out how to, there. Awesome, Freddie. Congrats. That's cool. No worries, Sniffles. Thank you, Camel, for that definition of concrete. That's useful. All right. So we are on an error-solving hunt, and this is going to be tricky. This becomes iGame. And iGame. Now that one's going to be a trick to solve. Not too bad, but again, we're at iGame. Game.copy is only part of the actual game object. And sorted is a list of game. Let's make it a list of iGame. And of course, down here, all of these need updated. And the game.copy method is going to be tricky. Although I guess, I mean, I can expose that. There's no reason why not, I suppose. Sure. So we need a copy method on our iGame. That's not going to hurt anything. Why not? iGame copy. Oh, and then the sort properties. Yeah. We don't want to add all those, so I'm not sure. Kind of want to change this. So what we're going to want to do, I'm changing my approach here. We'll go back to list of game. And basically, we're going through each game in games. What we can do instead, we want to get rid of that again. Go back to what we had. We just got to cast them all as an actual game object. I'm trying to figure out a way to do this without causing any performance issues, though. I don't know if there's any way to do that. I don't think I'm going to cause any performance issues, but I guess, you know, we'll see what happens. This.games.values.cast to game. Come on, I can't type. Is basically what we have to do here. And then we go down here. What do we got here? This is save internal. Sure. You know what I'm wondering though? I'm wondering if we should, because I'm going to run into so many issues here, it would almost be better to do it the other way around, where everything is internally stored as a proper game object, but casted to an interface elsewhere. I don't know. Is that even possible? I'm not sure. Comments, comments, comments. No one knows, but I'm wondering. There's no problem of exposing the copy function, but it's just not necessary. It adds unnecessary bloat. Although, I mean, yeah, I could expose it. That's not why I switched it up. I switched it up because I've got some deeper thoughts in my mind. Most importantly, performance. Anytime we cast an iGame to a game, that's a performance concern, and I don't want that to be an issue, you know? So I'm kind of torn on my methods there. I'm thinking what we could do instead yeah, I got an idea. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to get rid of a lot of what I've done. In this particular class. And now my games collection. I'm going to change this to still be game. And in my interface, the only problem is I can't call it games anymore, I think. But in theory, what I should be able to do is add a, I might change this, but for now I'm just going to add a generic dictionary of string iGame. Question is, what do we call it at that point to be accessible to the plugins? Because I can add, basically, if there's going to be a performance issue, I don't want it to be in the internal stuff. If there's going to be a minor performance issue, I want it to be in the plugins, because the plugin calls are going to get called a lot less than the main calls. So I'm kind of changing my perspective here a little. I mean, I can call it Games Dictionary, which works for now. And then under my proper data manager class, we would have to implement that. So we would say public dictionary of string iGame, games dictionary, get. Deciding to hide that button. Sure. Hit me up like with a Bitbucket ticket for that slipstream. Hey BRB. All right, so what I need to do is convert my games concurrent dictionary to a games dictionary, which might be kind of, I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. How do we do that? But it's going to be return this.games. Is there going to be a quick cast for that? I'm not sure if this is a good idea or not, guys. I'm really not. So that's something I got to think through. If we use link to I'm gonna look it up and see if there's anybody's got an idea how to do this. We want to cast dictionary to cast dictionary items. Link. To dictionary. Interesting. So games got to dictionary. Wow, look at that. It's a key value pair. Pair. The key is going to be, it's just pair dot key, which is a string, and then we cast iGame pair dot value. No, what? No, what am I doing here? Oh, I see. Pair. And that gets us apparently the right thing. That gets us a dictionary of string iGame. And hopefully that's not bad performance. Thumper from Bambi. Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's funny. That's not the first time I've been referred to as Thumper from Bambi. It's funny. Oops. And that was like, that didn't have anything to do with live streaming. I drink too much coffee, I think. Speaking of which, I'm all out. But this is good, because this means, in theory, that I've got a whole lot less things to change. Probably still going to have a bunch of errors, but we're down to 26 errors. I kind of want to do the same thing for the other stuff. So if we load up, for example, well, the game class specifically, this is where everything is the issue. All these blocking collections. I need to go back to the game class. And it's over here. I'll drag it over here for now. on, where is it? There it is. We want to switch this back up to use the original ones. And then fix the errors. That's fine. We'll come back to that later. The constructor stuff. It's fine. DOSBox set of pen mounts. I had already switched this up, but we don't want to do that. We want to go back to mount. Because doing this is going to save me from having to change a bunch of code, and it's also going to save some performance issues. So this is a much better approach. I'm pretty happy with this change here. All right. So now, in iGame, I'm going to add a new thing instead. Basically, do I have it open somewhere? Yeah, it's open right here. So instead of, where is it? These three. A blocking collection. I'm not sure if we should do a. I don't think we should do a blocking collection. We probably just should probably make it IEnumerable. I'm guessing. So we'll call this IEnumerable for now. I'm thinking maybe we should use a list though. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a list. Additional applications list, custom fields list, and mounts list. And then we just have to implement those on the actual game class. We go down to that guy. We're going to add public list of additional application. No, list of additional application. Additional applications list. And again, what we do is we say this dot additional applications dot to list. No. We want additional application app. What? Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. Basically, we want, it's simpler than that. We just have to say cast of type additional application, and then dot to list. All right, that works. And we need that for custom fields and mounts as well. Hey, Dark King. Thank you, Freddie. I love you too. You're my favorite code monkey. Glad to hear it, I think. Public list of custom fields list is the one that's going to be exposed to the plugin system. Return this.customfields.cast iCustomField.toList. Okay, and then mounts. Public list of mounts list. Get return this dot mounts dot cast of imount dot to list. All right. I think that's a smarter way of doing things. I think we'll see. Now, if I build, we're down to 16 errors, which is not bad at all. This is the fields class. Oh, why is this iGame? Oh, I have an idea. Wait a minute, though. Custom field. The field constructor takes an iGame. That's the problem. We want to switch that back. Because I had manually changed this before. For that definition, we're going to change this back to a game. Okay. How are we doing now? Still 16 errors. So this should be back to a list of game. On platform category, we'll get matches. Again, back to regular game. Yeah, instead of a list of iGame, we need a list of game. There we are. Okay, again, we're on iGame, and this no longer should be iGame. It needs to be game, which might be tricky, but I can solve that separately. Oh, inaccessible due to its protection level. I had made that private, and it needs to be public because of that. Oops. Okay. Didn't I just make that? Nope. Yep. Tags. What's this tag transition presenter crap? Well, let's rebuild. See where we're at. I have a feeling it might just build. Not quite. We got some weirdness going on with the errors. I might have to close out and reload, but so if I build now, what do we got? There it is. This is what I'm looking for. So the problem is this is an iGame. It should just be a regular game. Okay, now we have the fact that additional application is not implementing launch iGame. Sure. So we need to implement that. So our launch method we simply have launch game, but we need to change this up to launch iGame. And all we need to do really is cast this as an actual game. No problem. Build succeeded. Look at that. All right. So we have successfully implemented all of these. Data Manager, though, right now you'll notice only provides access to the games and nothing else. So we have a lot. I got a lot more work to do to open up more stuff. But the fact that game is done is a big deal because that's one of the biggest things. So good. Yeah. Hey, Slash Guns. So moving on, we got to just keep going here. When is the beta coming? Hopefully today, but I'm not sure. It might be tomorrow because I'm doing all this plugin stuff and it's going to be a little while. So, who knows? We'll see. I can promise I'll have a beta out before the end of the week. But I'm not sure how soon exactly. Because this is a major job, the plugin stuff. Although I'm going to be really glad to have it done. And I also need to get back to the theme stuff and try and get that fixed as well. So I certainly got lots of work to do before I can get another beta out. Promise? No. I don't promise anything. All right. So next, if we go to our data manager class, not interface, we got a bunch of other stuff to implement here. Should go look at some other collections. We've done our games. Our emulators are probably next. So we need to do emulators. So iData Manager needs another dictionary. Or actually, yeah, it's a dictionary of string emulator based on ID. So we need another dictionary of string emulator, which doesn't exist yet. I need to create that first, really. Emulators dictionary. Get. And I don't like that. Well, we have to create the emulator object, which is relatively involved. Not too bad. But let's go ahead and do that. But that's an important one. Public interface emulator. More reasonable hour of the day. Yeah. It's reasonable for me, but the problem is it's not reasonable for everybody. Hi, Irish Steve. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll take a look at that slipstream. That's interesting. Yeah. If we have somebody who's always rejecting, we can absolutely ban them, and we should ban them. So I should look into that. You were changing your spark plugs. DOS. All right. iEmulator. Let me load up this guy, and I'll move it over to my other monitor so I can take a look at everything. We have application path. No, not public. What am I doing? We need that guy. We need that guy. Come on. Default platform. Sure. ID. I'm just going to make that a getter only. Title, no quotes, no space. Hide console. Bool, file name without extension and path. String auto hotkey script. Bool auto extract. Then we have emulator platforms, which is going to be its own thing as well that I need to add. So this is going to be a list of iEmulator platform, which doesn't exist yet. Platforms list. Get. And then we have our methods, which we don't really need. Good. So that's it for iEmulator. I need to implement iEmulator platform now. So if I load up emulator platform, it's relatively simple, sort of, kind of. Move that over here. Let me build that interface next. And in here we have emulator ID. I'm going to make that a getter only. And that's it for emulator platform. Okay. And lastly, let me read up on comments here. What plugins are on the short list? Are you talking to me? Nam Hasto, however you say? Database is different to forums moderator-wise. Yes. Yes, the database has its own set of moderators. You can automatically become a moderator on the database. Yep. Hey, Charco, we are adding plugin support. What kind of plugins will people make? That we'll have to see. Gorilla's been already making plugins. We got lots of people interested in it. So ultimately, you should be able to do whatever you want in Big Box, especially. So that's the goal. Right now, we're just making sure all the data is accessible to plugins. There's a lot to go into this yet, but we're making good progress, so we'll see. Emulator. Who's a single mother, Stifilus? Gorilla has a controller battery level plugin almost complete, which is awesome. He's done some other stuff as well. Legend. All right, so emulator is there. Now, the emulator object needs to be, whoops. Oh, it's over here. I need to inherit from iEmulator, or implement iEmulator. And then also, we want emulator platform to inherit from iEmulator platform. And we have some missing things here. Let's go ahead and rebuild, figure out what we're missing. Okay, data manager does not implement interface member emulators dictionary. So we got to go down to emulators, and we need to add a public dictionary of string emulator, emulators dictionary, get. And we are going to do the same thing we did with games dictionary right here. Actually, this should be iEmulator. I'm going to return, come on, this.emulators.toDictionary pair.key. Wait a minute. There we are. One down. Okay. Actually, error list. Auto hotkey script. Really? Does not implement. Why is that? Auto hotkey script. Oh, it's misspelled. Where is my iEmulator? Okay. Platforms list. So we need to go down to platforms. And we need to add a public list of, no, yes. list of iEmulator platforms list, and return this.platforms. Oh, we need a getter. Dummy. Return this.platforms.cast to iEmulator platform.toList. There we are. Okay. Got to import that guy there. Slipstream, once plugins are implemented, can we have some of the most popular automatically downloaded? Eventually, sure. I don't know that that's going to make it into V1. They'll be available on the forums. We'll see. I see. I get the bad joke. Is there a way to force Big Box to get in focus right after it opens? Strange that the startup video is in focus, but right after I have to click on the Big Box window to have control of it. That's a Windows issue. You've got something else interfering with your desktop in a weird way, MCO. Believe it or not, the answer to that question is no. There is no way that I can code something in Big Box that isn't a giant, disgusting hack to get an application to focus itself, because that's considered a security issue, and Windows won't let you do that. Unfortunately, what that means is somehow something on your particular Windows installation is interfering in odd ways, and figuring out what that is, I got no idea. That's not typical, the typical experience. So I'm not sure, honestly. Launching from batch, okay. Well, that kind of makes more sense. Although, I don't have a solution for you, MCO, unfortunately. Replicate a mouse click to bring it into focus. Interesting. Cool, Marcus. Yeah, I didn't think about that. There's no good way to do it. It has to be a giant hack in order to do something like that. If Windows isn't handling the focus properly, then you're in trouble, because there's no, they specifically disallow you from stealing focus anymore. It used to be you could steal focus, but now whenever you see the orange blinking stuff in the taskbar, that means an app tried to steal focus, and Windows is saying, nope, you can't do it. So it does that instead. So Microsoft has specifically taken away that ability. There's no proper way to do it anymore. Platforms list. We are done there. Oh, rebuild all succeeded. Look at that. So we are good to go. We've added our emulators and emulator platforms. So they're accessible now. Moving on. Random color thing. That's cool. Yeah, I remember seeing that with your collection, Camel. That makes me insane. I can't do that in my collection, but I'm glad some people are using that. All right. So, next, we have platforms I need to get done, which might be tricky. So in iData Manager, we need to add another dictionary of string. Wait a minute, platforms is, yeah, it's a dictionary of string platform. String iPlatform. We've got to add iPlatform now. Platforms dictionary. It just keeps going, guys, deeper and deeper. Sorry if this has been a boring stream for everybody, but it is kind of exciting, the plugin thing. It's just the code is not that exciting to build, but it's it'll be really awesome once it's all in there. So the platform object needs to inherit, well, we have to create iPlatform first, so let's go ahead and do that. Whoops. New item, iPlatform. Public interface, iPlatform. Now, I need to pull up my platform object, which is right here. I'm going to drag that over here so I can see it on my other monitor. And we'll go through it. So, Adventure Ho. Man, everybody's talking to me about wobbling. Sorry, guys. I know. String banner image path. Get. String device image path. Get. String clear logo image path. Get. String background image path. Get. String sort title or title. Get. Uh-oh. Like Ask Monkus. Yeah, a desk that's 1 inch higher off the ground. That would drive me nuts, though, typing-wise. Platform category, clear logo, image path, sure. String, platform category, clear logo, image path, get. Now we have a dictionary of string platform folder. So we've got to add another thing for platform folder. It's going to be ultimately dictionary of string iPlatform folder, which doesn't exist yet. Platform folders dictionary. Get. Is emulated, sure. So we need a bool is emulated. Get. Local DB parsed is not something that we need to expose because that's just as far as how the internal data works. Name definitely is. String name. Although, I'm not sure we should allow changing the name of a platform right now. I'm going to set that to it, make that a getter. Release date. String developer. String manufacturer. string CPU. I haven't gotten more coffee yet. No kidding. I could use some more coffee, Sniffles. It's decaf at this point. But I guess I'm going to have to wait until we end the stream here in a little bit. Because it takes too long. Manufacturer, CPU, memory, graphics, sound. Probably something weird about batch scripts, MCO. That's my only thought. The startup video dies. I mean, it exits. So display. Folder, notes. Videos folder, front images folder. Okay. Fan art images folder. Screenshot images folder. Whoops. Banner images folder. Steam banner images folder. Manuals folder. Music folder. Scrape as. Video path. Although, yeah, we're gonna need that. Image type. Sort title. Category. Last game ID. Big box view. Okay. Now we're in protected stuff. We don't need this stuff. Don't need that. Don't need that. Get games folder path.
That's, well, do we need the folder? Yeah, maybe. This stuff's more important though, the new paths. So we need, we already have the paths all accessible here. We need string get new platform logo path string URL string get new platform video path string URL string get default. Now we don't need the default stuff. I'm going to add this string get platform video path bool fallback to game videos equals true, bool allow theme path equals true. That's a useful method. Get game images folder path. I don't think we're going to add that right now. Okay. Has games. That's useful. Get game count. There it is. I think that's it for platform. All right, how we doing on comments here? Thank you, D. Welcome. Task scheduler. Interesting. So probably task scheduler is somehow the problem. I don't know. That's weird. Task scheduler starts things on different users, different in the background. It does a whole bunch of weird stuff though. Although it should only do that optionally, I think. I don't know. Hey, Dave. All right, iPlatform folder is what we need to add in next. And it's pretty simple, so that should be fairly quick. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And platform folder. We just need string media type, folder path, and platform, and that's it. Nothing to it. And then if we go back into our platform folder class, this needs to inherit from implement I platform folder. Good enough. Good enough. Then this works. Now the platform class we're going to have an issue with platform folders dictionary. I need to implement that. Let me pull this over. Platform folders dictionary. So we need a public dictionary of string I platform folder, platform folders dictionary, get. And we're going to return this dot platform folders dot to dictionary. There it is. Okay, do we build? No, we don't. Platform does not implement interface member iPlatformFolder.get. iPlatform.folder. Interesting. Oh, it's a protected get. I see. Well, apparently I didn't want that accessible. You can set the folder but not get it. Why did I do that? I think I did that for testing purposes. Because I wanted to make sure that we were using a different method for getting the folder, the games folder. I'm just trying to figure out whether I should remove it from the, because I think getting the games folder would be useful in some cases. So let's just go ahead and change this back up to use the getter. Okay, data manager does not implement interface member platforms dictionary. So we need to go down to platforms. And add public dictionary of string platform, duh. No, iPlatform. Platforms dictionary. And I'm actually thinking I need to change this stuff though. The platforms dictionary. Instead of doing that, we need basically a read-only list And the reason why I'm thinking that is because if you add to them right now, it's not going to do anything. So rather than do that, what we should be doing instead is coming up with some sort of a read-only list. But I got to think through that, figure out what the best thing to do, and then add a separate method for adding and removing items. Ultimately, is what we should be doing for the plugins. And I imagine the vast majority of the plugins are only going to read the data anyways, although some will write to the data, so we do need to provide that functionality. All right, so ultimately, here I go with my leg again. I'm probably causing a ruckus. For now, though, I'm just going to keep going with this method. I think we're going to do this .platforms .toDictionary. Oh. Okay. And hopefully we build now. Not quite. Oh. We're all right. We build. So that's platforms. We're getting there. I think I am gonna. It's a good breaking point. So I think now's a good time to go ahead and end the stream. I'll grab some more coffee and keep working here. Keep chugging on the plugin stuff. And we'll see where we're at end of day. I think. I don't know. I'm not going to predict how long it's going to take me yet. I know I'll be done with this stuff by end of the week, you know. So we'll definitely have a beta out. I'll probably have a beta out tomorrow, but no promises. We'll see here. Let me catch up on comments quick before I take off. Shenanigans give the stream character. Character indeed, absolutely. Eric, so what are we breaking today? We're working on plugin support, Eric. Okay, Keltoy. Yo, mama. Beta hype. Thank you, Neil. Camel. I'm glad to hear it, C-Dubs. That's awesome. Take care, guys. Take care, Pac-Man. Yeah, that stinks, Juggerroll. I'm sorry. But take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys next week. Oh, Keltoy's Eric. Gotcha. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good one. See y'all Monday. Yep, Monday at 9:30 a.m. PST. Later.